and the color for different elements. For example, the start button, which is this one, we set the font size to 38 pixel and make the font bold, and we have the color. We set the color, and the position is absolute. We also set CSS for the image of this the image. Yeah, here the image, we have the width and height equals to 200 pixel, and we have the position absolute. Yeah, this is basically the progress CSS, the CSS for the progress bar, the CSS for the timer bar, and also the CSS for the score container bar. Yeah, that's all for the CSS. Let's take a look at the JavaScript. So we reference, we put the link that the game that we found in CodePen that we referenced from. You can click on this link to see this is the CodePen that we referenced. So we used some of the game functions that they created and incorporate some of our content and some unique features. So for the JS, we created 15 variables and listed them at the beginning so that we can use them later easily. Like this 15 variables. And then we create a question array which contains all the questions we have, and I believe it's 10 questions. And for each one, we have the questions, we have the image, we have 4 different choices, and the correct answer. And then we go to the sections called start quiz. Those are also some var variables that we created for we will use later. This is the start of quiz sections. We use the event listener to start a quiz. So when the user click on this part, click on this button. When the user click on this button, when they have the action click, the quiz will start. And the progress runner. The progress runner is this part, the bottom right part, and when the user answer one question or the time is out, the bar will the bar will change, and each circle represent for one question. So I believe there is 10 different circles. And the next part is the counter render, which is this timer at the bottom left. So the timer will start from 0 and it will end into 10. So if the user click on any of the choices, the timer will stop and then go to the next questions. But if the user make no selections and the timer reaches to 10, it will also go to the next questions. For the checking answer sections, if the author selections the content that the author select equals to the correct answer, the answer is correct function will run. Else, the answer wrong question will run. And this is the answer is correct, answer is wrong functions that we created, which is related to this progress bar. So when the user answered the question correct, the color of the circle will change to green. If the answer is wrong, it will show red. The score render part, which is the score container, we have a little face that will change based on the score, and also a percentage that will show the score. So we have different images. So if, for example, if the score equals or larger, higher than 80%, there will be this image shows to the user. Yeah, this is basically the all the functions and all the code that we have for the game level 1.
Now I will explain our level 2 game of drag and drop. After reviewing all this basic information on how to sort garbage, learners will be guided to start a game of level 2. Unlike level 1, where each garbage can be sorted directly, the garbage learners will classify in level 2 is composed of different kinds of garbage. Like the milk tea we present here, the milk tea people drink has straw, cups and lids and some leftovers. Each component belongs to different kinds of garbage. Therefore, we envision that a drag and drop game can meet our needs to help learners learn how to sort those difficult to sort garbage better. But out of our limits of our knowledge of coding, we failed to design several consecutive questions for level 2 like we do in level 1, but can only produce one question as a prototype. Now I will show how the drag and drop game works here. See here, we have already finished the game and I can reset it and now play again. And now let's come to the code part. This part of level 2 is driven by both HTML and JavaScript, and we use the code here as a reference. We also add a jQuery library to reduce the workload of our coding for the drag and drop game, as you can see here in the pen settings. Because we also use Bootstrap for this code, we create a division of container, row, and column in sequence, and place the whole level 2 in this column. We then create a division with the H1. We then create H1 division with an ID of level 2 here, and an image, and also an image division for our question milk tea to put them on the left part of the HTML. We then create a division with the ID of content to contain the rest part of level 2. We also set the CSS rules for the content division in CSS, as you can see right here on the line of on the 435th.